Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
What is up, First Cut Gang? We are back for another episode of Podmaker. We are recapping Peacemaker Season 2. We are on Episode 7, the penultimate. You know what they say, the penultimate episode is always the best. And this one's pretty doggone good.
What's up, people? We are here to make peace by any means necessary. And this week we're talking about one of the most action-packed episodes of the entire series, I would say. I believe the title was A Keith in the Night or something like that. Right? Yeah.
A Keith in the Night. It was directed by Athena Jones, who also directed Episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was Episode 4 or 5. Good. She did. That was the previous episode she directed, had the awesome opening action scene that was like, all the Argus agents surrounding Chris, and then Hardcore comes in and kicks him in the face. This one also has some amazing action sequences. We're going to talk about it all the way through and through. But before you jump in, Cade, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Every Thursday when Peacemaker comes on, it's just a joy. So it's going to be tough after next week. I'm going to have to find some other James Gunn adjacent content to consume, but I'm glad we at least have this episode today to talk about, and next week, which is supposed to be a almost hour-long episode, which I'm really excited for. This one was about 32 minutes, but it felt like it flew by because it was just so funny, so action-packed, so tense, and I feel like they did a really good job of picking up right where they left off at the end with that amazing cliffhanger from episode 6. What did you think about the very kickoff of this episode?
Yeah, no, it was like you said, it kicked off directly, like literally the very next scene from the Peacemaker season 2, episode 6. Ignorance is Chris, which we talked about last week, confirming the Earth X theory that this is a world full of Nazis. And we get this hilarious scene of, them in Argus and being like, did you not see all the man Kempfs on the desk? Did you not see the giant painting of Hitler on the wall?
Did you not see?
Right, not see. Exactly.
Yeah. And in the James Gunn podcast, he was talking about how there was also a joke they cut where they had a few of the Argus agents with Hitler mustaches around the set, but they decided to cut that, which I could see why they cut that, but oh my god, it must have been awkward for those actors who had to actually shave their facial hair like that. But the mural of Hitler was so absurd because it's like, how could Chris not see that? You know what I mean? Like, how do you walk past a pop art mural of one of the most evil, recognizable figures in history? But he's been hit in the head a lot, so yeah. I'll give him some slack on that.
Yeah, he got the intelligence of a football player with CTE, so we're not going to give him too much slack for missing the Hitler photo. I think it is interesting what we learn about this Nazi-ran world. Apparently, at least according to Judah. Well, I guess we'll talk about that in a second. From that Argus situation, we get a continuation from Adrian meeting his other Adrian self and being like, wait, I came with a black person. What's going on with that black person? And they clearly, they cut back to Adebayo running for her life.
Oh, my God.
So it was just like, it was really funny. For one, also, too, before I don't know, I'm jumping all over the place. Before I get into that scene, I do think that, this, I always, just in the world of TV, just more of a general production TV conversation, I always love when an episode is like directed by one person, but they very clearly use a big chunk of scene from like another director's episode. So
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can't help but to think like, yeah, it's directed by Athena Jones, but the first scene was definitely a James Gunn scene, just with the homie getting pushed in the face and then Amelia doing this crazy kick and all that stuff. It could have been what Athena Jones was bringing too, but I definitely, just from a production standpoint, we know, like, come on, that was probably James Gunn shot that scene, and then
Yeah, and the vigilante talking to himself, that was probably also a continuation of the last episode. But there definitely were a lot of standout moments that were like specific to this episode. But just going back to the vigilante talking to himself, like, I mean, I already love this character so much because he's so goofy. But this episode confirmed 2 vigilantes is better than 1. In the fact that they're just bringing double the laughs and also just sort of like being obsessed with each other. And the way Vigilante was comparing graffiti to concentration camps, like, are you like, what?
right. Yeah, no, all of it was kind of wacky. All of it was kind of yeah, all of their dialogue is hilarious. I kind of wish they would have been spitting some animal facts back and forth at each other.
I know. I don't have any animal facts this week, but I'll find some. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll scrounge them up real quick. But yeah, no, that was funny. Funny transition leading right into, of course, again, like Adebayo getting chased. That was, of course, you know, like we said last week, again, traumatic. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms for me, like as a black person, I'm like, dang, like the ancestors, like I know this is what they was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But you know, well, not thankfully, but you know, our ancestors didn't have a judo master back in the day, but thankfully Adebayo does. So that's who ends up helping Adebayo out the situation. She ends up swimming, getting out the pool. Always loving movies and TV when they clearly switch out the stunt double for the real person. You just see for a quick shot, Daniel Brooks's body double getting pulled out of the pool. I'm like, okay, y'all didn't even need that shot. Why'd y'all even show that? I was getting Tubi level right now. But then yeah, then he electric shocks the pool, which is I feel like, you know, that's the I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like that's the exact almost similar lightning effect that they use when the portal is opening up.
Oh yeah, totally. I peeped that those VFX were a little reused maybe, but
yeah.
I going back to the chase, like Adebayo getting chased by this horde of white people was giving to me like zombie imagery, and in a way, like these people are zombies because they have fully fallen to this ideology and like their brains are fully rotted by the Nazi propaganda. So I thought it was like an interesting like nod to like a horror element too, with the way they were jumping over the fence and kind of like had this like horde mentality to them. But when Judo Master showed up, like usually I hate seeing him. We've talked about this in the show. Like I love his performance and I love the character, but it just from like an anxiety point of view, like anytime he shows up in the show, it's like he's always the one who can like stand in the way or sort of take down Chris or kind of put a wrench in things. And it was like the one time I was finally so happy to see him. And it was also like, where had he been the whole time? Because they didn't resolve that at all last episode. They just showed him walking through. So it was like one of those clutch, like third act moments where that like character who hasn't been seen for a while comes back and saves the day.
Mm-hmm. Minority saving minority, you know what I'm saying? Soon as Judo Master pulled up with that little blonde mustache of his, I'm like, okay, cool, this is perfect.
Also, did you peep? I think as they were cutting away from the pool scene, there was a croc floating to the surface
with the Nazi
swastika on it. That was a crazy attention to detail.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. That was crazy. Yeah, that was hilarious. Real quick, I actually kind of dig the fact you brought up like zombie imagery in comparison to Adebayo, you know, getting chased and everything. Because if, you know, for all of us cinephiles out there, we know, you know, zombie cinema really began as like a metaphor for like the civil rights movement, you know what I'm saying? Particularly George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, which is often credited as the first zombie movie ever made, is also very starkly a civil rights movie about, you know, a black man being alone in the world and, you know, getting chased down by hordes. And well, that's what the original 1968 George A. Romero film did so well. That's what this, you know, what James Gunn did so well is like really putting you in the fear of, just putting you in the fear of just that situation, of just being any other in this world, right? Like you mentioned last week, the fact that Vigilante's dad can be gay in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, Adebayo is a queer black woman. Judo Master is a queer Asian, person.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a lot of fear for people who just like aren't Chris or aren't even Economos and Amelia. They don't have that same level of life or death that's being presented here. And what I was, getting at before, they kind of allude to this Nazi world as, something that is like, we're putting like all the black people, brown people, all the minorities in like these concentration camps and basically working them, seeming like in like a slavery kind of way,
Yeah.
like locked up kind of situation. So yeah, it's deep, it's weird, but it's it's getting to some ugly truths that is like lying underneath in the real world too. So
Yeah,
heavy
like
stuff.
prison labor,
Yeah.
Like there's corporations using prisoners to basically run sweatshops through prisons, and that's something that's very real in today's world. And obviously, we're seeing it on a much more overt scale in this universe. But I do really appreciate how James Gunn's used the multiverse trope to kind of explore more like concentrated, or sorry, poor choice of words, to explore more like explore. We gotta cut that. We gotta cut that. Just like very specific emotional themes and like real things rather than just overwhelming iconography or just for an aesthetic purpose.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just see that coming through in every episode for sure.
Yeah, I love that because we talked about it in our very first season, in our very first season 2 breakdown, episode 1 breakdown. Like, were they really getting into the multiverse already? Like, is this really what we're doing in our beginning of the new DCU? But I think this is like a clever way of James Gunn being like, okay, we're gonna show you a little multiverse, but this is you see the multiverse. This is what we're getting into. We never coming back here again. Just so you know.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
like
It
it's
gets
like
messy quick.
right. It's like okay. It's like oh yeah. We multiverse. Oh nah, never again. Closing that door, shutting it. Let's never open any more multiverse portals or dimensions ever again.
And even in Superman, like they used it as like sort of the main, like they used it right off the bat, whereas obviously Marvel sort of worked up to it in a sort of desperate reach for something to use as a plot line or a plot stitch together. So I think it's cool that DC is definitely using it off the bat and sort of clearing that deck, and then maybe it'll be used more, but it's already in the cultural zeitgeist, so it's nice to see it being used this way.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. It's exactly like you said. It's like in the Marvel world, we only really see the multiverse as like an aesthetic thing. Same universe, but a couple actors are different. Same universe, but it's 1960s and it's retro future. Like
And Steve Rogers is still alive or something.
yeah. It's like no. But in this one, they actually like get into like, okay, y'all want to see a different universe? Here's a radical change that nobody ain't trying to see. And even when we see the preview for the next week's episode, like they seem like they're opening more doors, and those other worlds look even worse. Like
Yeah.
that
Like,
preview
they look AI generated.
well, yeah, with the giant skull, like with the spider legs. Like I'm like, yo, what? So yeah,
That was like almost the second. Well, obviously it's just a preview for next week, but it was almost like the second nod to Sid from Toy Story in the same episode. They talk about Sid's music and stuff, but going back to when they break out of Argus, Hardcore and Chris breaking out of Argus. It was really nice to see Chris like fully pivot back to realizing like, who he's actually in love with versus the idea of who he's in love with. And then that breakout scene was just so fun to watch, the way that they flew through the glass. And dude,
through the glass.
Jennifer Holland she is such a comedic like talent. The way that she's able to deliver these lines was she just you can tell that she understands the character so well that she's able to like really make things stand out comedically even though the character's being serious, if that makes sense. Like when they break through the glass and she's like, we went through glass, like, you know what I mean? Like she's just she they all have like these different types of comedy that they're playing, and I think that Jennifer Holland has continued to stand out to me as like a type of comedy that like I really appreciate, this sort of like deadpan like dark humor vibe. And yeah, I just wanted to give her a special shout out because I can't wait to see her in more stuff too.
Yeah, no, she's been killing it through and through. She's definitely one of my favorite cast members. Economos just not given no kind of resistance. I mean, they are just he's just milking them. He's giving them all the milk. Like he like no Vaseline. You know what I'm saying? He's just
Yeah.
like bro. Like I could lie better than Economos was. You know what I'm saying?
Bro is literally the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz.
Right. Ah, I like that. See, if Economos is the cowardly lion, I'm saying that what's the Tin Man who
The
was
Tin Man.
yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
have
he
a heart
doesn't
or
have a
something.
heart. Maybe
Exactly, that's
hard.
Amelia.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
hardcore.
exactly. That's
And
hardcore.
then Toto is Eagly.
The Toto
And,
is Eagly.
yeah,
Exactly,
and Dorothy
exactly.
is Chris, except I don't know. Maybe they're both sort of yeah, questionable characters, but different in
Yeah,
different ways.
right. No, true. But yeah, nah. Shout out to the and then of course that means Adrian is the Scarecrow, which of course makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Right. So but no, this that seeing Economos just give up the bait. I like how Keith was angry, but the dad was still trying to keep it cool. Blue Devil, we learned little later in the episode, yo, maybe he wasn't the worst guy. Like that's kind of a plot twist too. Like holy smokes, like Chris's dad, this universe, he's the one that's not a Nazi. He's the one that's not super racist. It's like okay, all right, that's kind of
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
For me, I was kind of thinking like maybe because he grew up in a world that was it's implied that he grew up in like a Nazi world where he didn't have to have so much hatred in that specific way, that maybe he was like that part of his sick twisted mind was like, "Oh, this is just society, so I'm gonna find other things to call injustice or call bias on." And yeah, I really liked seeing that reveal from the Blue Devil. It was definitely again like just more exploring the way that the multiverse is like for Chris's character development too, and just heartbreaking, like you said.
Yeah, it's definitely heartbreaking. I mean, I feel like he's also like just giving maximum contrarian vibes. Like he's a contrarian either way. Like in a world where there's no Nazis, he's gonna be a Nazi. In a world where there is Nazis, he's gonna not be a Nazi. Like that's just
Yeah, total
his character.
contrarian.
Yeah, it's just a complete contrarian. But I mean, in the same effect though, still super violent. Mowed down all those cops who were chasing
Yeah.
Chris and Amelia. I was like, dang, like he's all cops are bad too. He's anti-police. Like that's what I'm talking about. Okay, this might be a Blue Devil I could get behind, doggone it.
Yeah, and they did a
Uh,
really good job of like that was a scene where you're like, oh shit, like this guy's evil, and they did a good job of like hiding that reveal until the very very last moment.
right to his very last moment. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. So but before we get into that, there are also two moments I just want to touch on. For one, the calling back to our universe, the real, the official DC universe, whatever. Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. He links up with Lex Luthor's associate. Turns out I thought last week it was going to be the evil Superman. Completely wrong on
And I
that.
thought it was gonna be Jason Momoa.
Hey, hey, look, we throwing out guesses, y'all. We trying. But honestly, I like Hansenberg too. He was my second favorite henchman in that whole movie.
Yeah.
He was hilarious, and
Honestly, I didn't remember him at all.
Oh, you didn't know?
Wow.
I remember him for two reasons. For one, he was the only one who stood up to Lex and was like, "Hey, this portal thing is not a good idea." But then Lex was like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then the second iconic moment with him was when Mr. Terrific comes up to Lex's thing and is like, and Hansenberg walks up and is like, "Hey, I can fix that rift," and Terrific just pushes him in the face and is like, "I don't need your help. I'm Mr. Terrific."
Oh yeah. Okay, I do remember. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was just that's what makes him my second favorite. My first favorite henchman was Oldenburg, the big homie who pulled the lever, Otisberg, or Otisberg. Yeah.
I like the guy in the box with Superman who was like full of shame.
Oh, the rock dude,
Yeah, like the
material guy.
elemental guy.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
you could consider him a henchman. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was working for Lex. That definitely counts. But yeah, no, I like seeing this cameo. He was funny. He was a little bit more restrained in Peacemaker. Same way, Lex was in his scene as well. A little bit more restrained, a little bit more grounded. But that post credit scene at the end.
Oh my god, the post credit scene was crazy.
Honestly, the second best Pornhub joke I've seen in cinema this year, only after ours and Quarter Life Crisis.
Of course. Yeah, totally.
But no, that was funny.
It was cool seeing the Luther Corp like flying module thing come into play again. Just kind of like giving that Agents of Shield energy. But yeah, I also thought it was really cool the way that they wrote his lines about, why would I help you? And then they're like, well, we're going to tell Lex that you're not helping us, and kind of like putting that pressure on him to be like, to kind of remind us how much of a kiss up to Lex he really is.
Yeah, no, I thought that was funny. He's still loyal to Lex even from behind bars, like even in the sake of the government, But I do think it is, and he is for one. Rick Flag Senior says, "Oh, I'm going to keep you on my team." All right, so it's kind of like he might be switching up a little bit. But I also like how it kind of confirmed what we were talking about too, right? Like how the portals that Lex was making, the homemade ones, were real unstable. He said they had a little wobble or whatever, versus this alien tech one is much more stable, much more
wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. That brought me right back to like 2015, straight up.
Yeah, no facts. That was, but so stable portals. I guess that's what we're seeing. I think Rick Flag Senior is going to try and go back, trying to find his son in the multiverse.
Yeah,
and I think that might be where the finale's headed. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was also really, again, like using the multiverse for more like emotional impact. The way that they had the scenes between Keith and Chris in this episode, about Keith saying, "I'm going to kill you," when, Chris killed him in season 1 as a kid, and kind of getting like that full series tie back. I thought was like, it just hit, it really, they executed that well.
Yeah, that was the most hitting part of the whole episode, was the confrontation between Chris and Keith at the end. Both when, of course, like when they're unveiling the truth to each other, and then we start to learn some good things about Blue Devil, and it's like, oh damn, we start feeling bad about him, and then boom, Adrian comes in, jacks him right. It might have been Adrian, it might have been Adrian too. I'm really not sure which Adrian it was, but jacks him right in the neck multiple times. Boom, it's done. Like, you can't do nothing with that, And then
relentless.
Yeah, relentless. And then they go on the run. That was a heartbreaking emotion from Chris in that moment. Just the quick of him looking at his father, kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
But he didn't really have as much time to process that. But it was a familiar feeling to what he had before. But the moment that really, really hit though was when they were about to go through the portal. Keith busts through the wall and knocks him down, and all the 11th Street kids grab Keith and beating him up, shanking him up, everything. He's looking real beat up.
Yeah.
And, John Cena just lets out that real emotional, like, stop.
Yeah, that scream was something else. That's Emmy worthy right there.
Yeah, that was the emotional anchor of the whole episode, to me. I mean, performance-wise, 10 out of 10, and just the way they flash back to all these moments in Chris's life, like, yeah, he's done a lot of killing, intentionally and unintentionally, you know?
Yeah, and just going back to the scene where the cops are surrounding the place, like the scenes in the bush with Adebayo and the two vigilantes and Judo Master, like that shit was cracking me up. Just the way that Adrian is just like so like unself-aware that like even in the most tense climactic emotional moments, like he's still just saying the wildest shit. And then also we see Detective Fitzgibbon come back into play from season 1, played by Lachlan Monroe, who also was a cop in the hit movie White Chicks. So it's always a good time to see him. And yeah, Adrian was just both vigilantes were just ruthless in this, and like kind of ended up saving Chris's life in a way, but also ruining it. So
Yeah.
that's the double-sidedness to Vigilante's whole operation.
Yeah, the whole operation. Yeah, no, literally that they're two peas in the same pod. Part of me kind of wanted both of them to go through the portal. Honestly,
Me too.
I kind of would have been fun, double the trouble. Before I know, and then I know we're jumping all around the place. But just because we're heading to the end of the episode, I did just want to quickly touch on Adebayo and Judo Master's little scene together that they had inside the house.
The Scrabble scene.
Squabble, yeah. I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool that they were relating to each other. Again, more like we said, lore dumping. We learned about how the Nazis and the prisons and stuff. But again, we have confirmation of Judo Master's seemingly, sexuality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or at least identity. So yeah, identifies as some sort of queer type of situation. It's cool that I feel like now Judo Master and Adebayo have a whole nother connection. I feel like Adebayo could connect to anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
But now, it's like a whole deeper connection, and hopefully they're not fighting each other all the time.
Yeah, and we kind of see Judo Master join the 11th Street Kids towards the end of the episode, where he kind of goes along with their lie to Argus.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, once again, Eagly saves the day, right?
Bringing that piece of string.
when Keith is about to, by bringing that piece of string, that was hilarious too. But yeah, I mean, Keith is about to blast them all up, and Eagly comes in, swoops in, and of course saves the day as he usually does. Speaking of bald eagles, did you know that bald eagles actually aren't bald? Their names comes from the Old English word bald, spelled with an E, meaning white, referring to their striking white head and tail.
Okay. So they're Nazi birds too. All right. Like to see it.
Yeah, they were chosen in 1782 as a symbol of the United States, despite Benjamin Franklin preferring the wild turkey.
No, I think eagles are probably the better move. I mean, I don't know if I want my Thanksgiving dinner to be the national bird.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if that projects strength.
No, I don't think so. Also, Economos getting dragged on the chair was hilarious too.
Like they couldn't just untie him really quick, right? Like they had mad knives. They're shanking up everybody. Like they couldn't just real quick cut him out. Like that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. And then, like we said, that big emotional scene, Keith and Chris, and then he kind of saves Keith, and they have this little emotional moment. But then again, the cops come in. But right before, they all about to leave, Amelia was about to pull the trigger on Keith.
Yeah.
That was dark. I mean, I feel like we got a really good villain origin story set up for next season, for sure.
I agree. I think that Keith will... I could see, Rick Flag Sr. opening the portal again to try to find his son, and then that opening the door to Keith coming through and trying to hunt them down. And I mean, that moment where Harcourt's about to pull the trigger is like a huge character development moment for her too, because she doesn't say you can't come after us, she says you can't come after him, because we see in that moment where we have that needle drop when they're on the bike. I believe this song was Still Pretending by First Signal, they make these cheesy moments like really hit, even though the song is like kind of mismatched to it's like perfect for their emotional journey. And like that whole moment where they're on the bike together, GTA 5 stars, getting chased by the cops, and they're like finally falling in love, and then we see that come to fruition when she's about to like kill Keith, but
Right.
ultimately she can't.
Yeah, they ran out of time. Yeah, I'm like, man, I just wish he just would have popped it real quick and then just kept it pushing. But
Yeah.
you know, it was looking like he's still alive. That really does feel like a primetime villain. Now unfortunately Chris might really have to be confronted with killing his brother yet again.
Again, dude, again. Like what?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, no, it was a great way to end it. Great cliffhanger. You know, of course, I mean, it's not totally the end. Of course, like we said, they get to Argus, or they get to the regular universe, though Argus, their portal, and Rip Jagger, Judo Master, kind of lies with them. And yeah, I mean, this episode honestly could have been the season finale in and of itself. Like,
Yeah.
I personally felt like the majority of the storylines I cared about got wrapped up. Of course, like the big question is Rick Flag Sr., right? And I think that is going to be the motivation for the next episode.
Well, we see, you know, in the preview, we see them going into all those doors. I'm excited to see that. I feel like it's going to be, like, I feel like this episode, like you're saying, like wrapped up a lot of like the really monumental storylines and emotional arcs. And I feel like next episode's going to be hopefully a little bit more for laughs and kind of setting up what the next season might be. Even though I don't think it's technically been greenlit yet, but I mean, the dude literally is the CEO of the entire studio, so
Yeah.
it's like, come on, like it's secured, but
Yeah, no, I literally James Gunn can do whatever he wants. So we know this is going on for a very, very long time, and I'm very happy to see it go on for as long as they want to keep making it. I am always, I'm always hesitant when we get long finales. You know what I'm saying? Like when all the episodes have been 30 minutes, and then we get a finale that's like, super long like that. Part of me feels like maybe that's it. So sometimes when shows do that, it's a banger finale and it's huge. Sometimes when shows do that, that's actually the end of the show, like low key. You know what I'm saying? Like, like at least for me, like I know for me, I just finished The Wire. Normally the episodes of The Wire are an hour. The last episode was an hour and a half. Same thing, with That's So Raven. I think they gave that an hour long special to go off. I might be tripping with that one. But one of them.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like, I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, dang, like
where they like go into the future and like show their like how everything pans out. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's giving like full comic book next episode, like something kind of contained.
Yeah, it could be something more. This could be a more contained story. But I do think that this chatter around Peacemaker has been so good. I mean, of course, the YouTube numbers from us have been great.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks for everybody watching. But also too, I mean, just compared to Gen V, like I see so many people on my timeline talking so heavy about Peacemaker and the twist and the deeper meanings and all these things. And then, we're in episode 5 of Gen V right now, and I feel like it's been super quiet on that. You know
yeah.
what
I mean, but also like Gen V this season is a lot weaker than the first season, and also like I don't think they marketed Gen V season 2 at all. Like I feel like I saw like one tweet about it where I was like, oh, that show's back. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. But I mean, there are some interesting things going on in Gen V, but it's kind of like the last on my list of things I'm excited to watch during the week.
Yeah, no, honestly, same. I haven't even watched the most recent episode for this week yet. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's it for, this episode of Podmaker. Oh man, I always say, let me just real quick. I always say we're gonna read comments, and I literally always forget. So.
Oh, I think we got some on the last episode. Let's see what y'all had to say.
We for sure did. Thank y'all all again for watching.
Oh, also I finished The Penguin, and I rewatched The Batman.
Hey.
Yeah.
What were your overall thoughts on Penguin?
Penguin, 10 out of 10.
Hey.
Yeah, so good. Although I really like the character of the Hangman, so I was kind of like, obviously, like she's like the villain kind of, but I really liked that character, and I'm like not incredibly hopeful that there will be more of that show or her character, but
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is amazing. Sophia. Yeah,
Melody or something. Yeah.
something like that. And but she is great. Unfortunately, Batman. They said the Penguin's only a miniseries, so they're not doing a season 2. And then
Oh damn.
and they're not even and Homegirl's not even in the Batman 2. They already confirmed that as well. So
Oh,
it does
okay.
feel like dang, like they just let her sit there. But hopefully they do make it into a bigger thing. Who knows? But yeah, no, we got 9 comments on last week's episode. Shout out to y'all. 6 of them are from Joseph Ashley. So thank you, Joseph Ashley, for
Thanks for watching, Joseph.
always tapping in. And I know I owe you some Blu-rays from real ones, so I gotta shoot those your way. Now I'm gonna just read all of his comments in succession. So Joseph Ashley said, "This is the Lex I wanted in the Superman film. I think Lex was talking about Killer Croc smashing Dr. Phosphorus. Yeah, that when he was talking about like a big beast and some fantasy thing, when Lex Luthor. Yeah, so that's a good theory, Joseph. Joseph said, can't tell if Peacemaker was in Universe X or Mr. Mixapix. I always pronounce that wrong. Gave Peacemaker what he wanted. That's hilarious. You know, Mr. Mixapix is a Superman villain that's basically like the genie from Aladdin. You know, could grant any wish. That would be funny if he was behind
That's
the
a crazy villain.
No, he is. He's like a little short guy. Gilbert Gottfried actually voiced him back in the Superman cartoon back in the 90s.
Affleck.
Exactly. That kind of vibe. Joseph actually also said, surprised they didn't call this episode Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's a good one. And then 2 more from Joseph said, I think many POCs do mental head counts to see if there's anyone that looks like them when they travel, whether fast food, gas stations, work, Disneyland, or Comic-Con. I hope I don't see them use rope on Adebayo.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I was hoping that too. Crazy that Peacemaker was so happy he didn't realize he was in MAGA Town. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, it's facts, isn't it? Shout out, and then his last comment from Joseph Ashley. I should have read that one last. That was kind of funny. Lastly, from Joseph Ashley, did you see when CW did Earth X Invasion on Supergirl, Arrow, and Flash? Yeah, I didn't know that until like after we did our recap and everything. I guess they did the Earth X storyline in the CW universe as well.
Oh wow, CW went deep, huh?
Yeah, CW went deep. Now I don't know if they're showing swastikas, but they I think they definitely went into the Nazi world thing situation. Another comment from Ben Wellington, the great Ben Wellington, the homie. Ben Wellington said, "Amazing episode. You guys are prophets. Haha. Ultimate Dimension is basically Trump's third term." Yeah.
Clock it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think Rob's the prophet. He's got that super knowledge of all the comic lore.
Nah. It's just I just get it from YouTube. And then of course Kevin Davis. Kevin Davis is always awesome. People aren't getting offended because this is Warner Brothers, not Disney. Very good point. Very good point. I feel like if this was a Disney thing, there would have been a lot of backlash to it.
Disney would not have even allowed this to happen because wasn't Walt Disney anti-Semitic?
Yeah, he was. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you ain't lying. They would not just green like that in general.
Plus, Disney adults just in general live in fantasy land, so I don't think they would have really appreciated being confronted with any real themes.
Right. Yeah. No, they wouldn't be able to handle that. Their fragile little minds. But all goated though. Goated.
Yeah, I love the comments, y'all. Keep them coming. I want to hear what you thought about this episode since it was such a crazy one. And drop any interesting animal facts you have in the comments as well.
Yeah, we need those animal facts. Get them animal facts going. I'm trying to quickly see if there's any other comments that I just never read. I don't know if I read this one, but this is from a while ago from when we were talking about which season had the better intro. This is from the Pillsbury Towboy. The Pillsbury Towboy, hilarious. I don't hate the new one, and the dance may be better, but there's no debate. Season 1 had the better song.
You know, as we've gone on through this season, I've really enjoyed this one more and more. I've even like added it to my Spotify playlist and been listening to it.
There we go. See, yeah. It catches on. It just takes a second, and it's emotional. I feel like this season has stepped up the emotion, and the song has to step up the emotion with it. So, great stuff. I hope. This is the John Cena Emmy episode. Submit this episode to the Emmys next year because he deserves it.
The show needs Emmys next year. I feel like a lot of the comedies that have dominated the Emmys for the past 3 or 4 years have kind of run their course. Yeah. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for Peacemaker to swoop in and grab some.
Yeah.
At least nominations.
At least some nominations, and especially because of how culturally dominant the conversation has been. Because I look at Twitter, right? Like when I see a tweet that has a few thousand likes, I'm like, okay, this is niche. You know, this is the fanboys. When I see it get to the 10,000s, 20,000, 30,000 likes, okay, it's touching, general audiences. But I'm seeing Peacemaker tweets that are like 100K, 200K, like especially with the Nazi, like with that Nazi flag reveal, like that just really started another layer of conversation with people. So yeah, like, I hate to say it, but it's reflecting the real world in a way that we is uncomfortably becoming too familiar. Yeah. So it's
how great would it be to have an Oscar season where one battle after another sweeps, and then an Emmy season where Peacemaker sweeps?
We cooking.
Both talking about the fascist regime.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what we need to see, y'all. That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, with that being said, I don't think I have anything else on this episode.
No, I just have one more thing.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
Gotta throw the eagle sound in there.
Eagerly coming in to save the day, scratching up brothers and, delivering strings, so he.
Yeah. And also, bald eagles are monogamous and often return to the same nest year after year.
Oh, see? Eagles don't cheat, man. See, they always holding it down for the peoples. But yeah, that's all. Yep, that's it for Podmaker. We are wrapping up our recap of Peacemaker season 2, episode 7. Cade, where can people follow you?
Yo, follow me everywhere. Follow me home if you see me on the sidewalk. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Everything at Cade Huseby. And most importantly, follow Quarter Life Crisis Movie. We're going to be posting clips very soon. You won't want to miss out on that. And yeah, more updates on that coming soon. What about you, Rob?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3 and TikTok as well. Follow First Cut TMO on all social media platforms. And speaking of Quarter Life Crisis, we are having a screening this Sunday, y'all. This Sunday in Glendale, California. If you are in the Los Angeles area, come through. James Gunn, come through. Tim Meadows, come through.
Tim.
Everybody come through because this is a great screening that we're gonna have. We're gonna have an awesome Q&A, and it's gonna be fun. So show up.
Yeah, get that first sneak peek screener experience.
Yeah, no, it's up. Can't wait. With that being said, y'all, the First Cut crew, I'm RB3.
I'm Cade.
We are peacing out, y'all.
Peace.
You only one can remain. It's either me or you. Only one can remain. It's either me or you. Take you out the equation. It's either me or you. You do the math. Only one can remain.
La 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 la.